As instructional designers, leveraging assets and templates that are out there in the internet is a very smart thing to do. In 99% of the cases, you don't want to be hand drawing or illustrating from scratch. One way to leverage assets is taking vector files and modifying them for your course. But to do that, you need Adobe Illustrator, and this costs money. Fortunately, there's a free online photo vector editor. It's called PhotoP. Based on the look of it, it looks very much like Photoshop and Illustrator. So let me go ahead and use PhotoP to modify vector assets. Let's go to freepik.com. I'm going to find an infographic that we could use. Of course, depending on your content, the assets that you choose will be different. So I'm going to search for infographic. For example, if you have, say, 4 bullets, you can do something like that, where you got, four sections or 4 subtopics into your slide. For our example, we're going to use this one for, say, for example, if you had 3 bullets, you want to download it. It's going to download most likely a zip file. You want to export it, or you want to uncompress it, or you want to transfer it to a folder, so get it out of the zip file. So now it's in your directory. Now that you have your vector file, this is the file that we're going to be editing in photop.com. We're going to switch over to PhotoP and drag the vector file over to open it. Drag it over, and now it's opened. Great, we got the vector file. We are now going to start getting rid of the things that we don't need. We'll start with the background. We're going to get rid of this white background. And we clicked on the background, we deleted it. We want to make sure that you are on the move tool. We only want to keep the 3 lines, and everything else will delete and recreate and articulate storyline. And we're going to delete the bottom text. I'm seeing like a gradient in the back. I'm going to get rid of that too. Let's see if we get rid of it. Yep, get rid of it like that. We want to remove the icons because we're going to use our own icons related to your actual topic. Okay, now I'm just removing all of the text and just keeping the actual diagram or the infographic. Now that we removed all the unwanted items, we can now export it. To do that, click on File, go to Export as PNG. It's going to save to your Downloads folder, and now you have a PNG file that you can import into Storyline. And this is how it looks. Now go over to Storyline and go to a blank slide. I highly recommend changing your slide size, which you could go to the Design tab and click Slide Setup and have it a widescreen dimension. Mine is 1280 by 720. It could be 1920 by 1080. Having a widescreen size looks clean and modern. If we go back to the original look of the infographic, we have the title along with the icons, along with the title of the subsections and the related text. Let's drag the PNG infographic that we have over to the slide. Drag it over. You want to resize it and align it. I'm going to resize. Okay. Now we want to create the title. Alright, go to the text box. Let's align it to the middle. And let's just call it slide title. Let's change the font to maybe Bebes Nue Bold. Let's make it much bigger. There we go. Maybe change the color around to maybe dark gray. Dark gray. And the original infographic had the slide title on the bottom, but we'll put ours to the top. Okay, now let's create the subsections. I just duplicated the slide title text box. I'm going to reduce the font size. Let's change it to just something that's not as condensed. Stick with Arial. We'll call this subsection, subsection, or subtitle 1. Maybe bold it. Okay. I'm gonna bold it. And then for the paragraph, let's make it a little smaller. We'll call it, we'll just put random text. Subtitle, extra information. Subsection. Alright. There we go. Let's duplicate it. You could duplicate it by doing a Control-C, Control-V. You can also duplicate it by holding the Control button and dragging it over. We can just call that Subtitle 2, Subtitle 3. Now what we're missing is an icon, a related icon for each of these. Okay, now, now let's create the icons. My go-to site for icons is flaticon.com. You can pretty much find any icons related to your content. For example, if we type in healthcare, you will find all kinds of icons related to healthcare. Alright, let's just pick one. Let's pick this one here. We are going to save it. I believe the free version, all of these are free. You do have to attribute if you're not subscribed to the service, but the icons are still free. You just need to attribute towards the end of your course, somewhere in your course that says that you got your icons from flaticon.com. So let's download. You can pick the size that you want. You can always, I always pick the biggest file size, which is still small. Okay, now you have your icon. What you want to do is go back to Storyline and drag your icon, resize it. There we go. For the sake of this training, we're not gonna do different icons. We're just gonna put the same one here. Looking at the slide, you can see that it looks very clean and professional. In terms of the design, we are pretty much finished. I would say the only thing we want to do now is to have entrance animations for these elements. Starting with the slide title, go to animations, create a fly-in from top. From top. Okay, so the moment the slide comes or enters, this title will fly in from the top. Next, or let's animate the infographic. For something like this, you can do a fly in from bottom, or you can do a wipe from left. This one actually looks pretty neat as well. For these icons and text, let's all have them grow. Okay, and then depending on your voiceover, they're gonna appear at different times, but since we don't have a voiceover, we'll just have them staggered. So let's see, let's group these objects, group the middle one, group the last one. Okay, we have these three groups here in the timeline. Let's have them enter after the infographic appears. So first we have the slide title coming in, then we have the infographic coming in, then we have the icons and text coming in. Let's preview. Look at that. Now we are done with the slide, and we have a very clean and professional looking slide design. Then maybe the last thing that you could do is create a small text that says click next to continue. So generally the next button is here. Okay, create a call box, click next to continue. All right, let's format the shape. Let's make it, let's have it as the same color as that. Line color, let's have no line. This one, Let's put it at the end. Okay, of course you can have it trigger, put it on a master slide so that it always appears at the end of the timeline. But for this slide or for this example, we're not working on triggers or configurations. We're just doing the slide design. So let's preview the slide. And then there you go. Click next to continue. One thing you want to do in your e-learning, if you're going to have voiceover, is always have the seek bar. And that is in the players tab, or in the player, click the player button. And here you have the seek bar. I highly recommend you having a seek bar if you're going to have a timeline or if you're going to have voiceover.